But in the same match, you'll get Dave's brother in the other room go, I think you're really biased to person B. And it's like, how can I be biased to both players? Hello, welcome to the Mission Darts podcast, right here on the own dedicated channel of the Mission Darts podcast. And wow, on YouTube has it exploded this. We expected when we did the podcast, and certainly when we moved it to its own channel, we thought 200 to 500 views for a while till it builds up. We've had thousands of people watching. Hello.
I think we're approaching 3,500 on last week's, which is unbelievable. Not only that, I asked for you to subscribe, and they have, Matt. They've subscribed in the drones. I think we're up to 850 or something like that now from 700. So thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. It helps us make a better podcast. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do it. And yeah, thank you. And Matt, we've got a lot to talk about today. I want to start off with.
Can I dangle a carrot? Can I dangle a carrot? How about if we dangle that carrot quite far and we say the monetization status for any YouTube channel is 1,000 subscribers. We've got over 1,000 people listen to this. If we get 1,000 subscribers before the start of March for the whole of 2025, we will never insert any advert during the podcast. You'll get your one at the start, but there'll never be a mid-roll ad.
That's a big shout, Matt. And I listen to a lot of podcasts, and they've all got multiple mid-ad.
It breaks
and
the
drives
phone.
me nuts.
Yeah,
it does. You're just getting into a story, and then it breaks, and it kills me. So that's a pretty amazing thing to say. Yeah. So I'll
no
go with
mid-roll ads whatsoever. If we hit 1,000 by the end of March, there'll obviously be one at the start. I mean, YouTube's probably putting them on there anyway. At the moment
probably
now.
On now anyway.
So, but there'll be no adverts in the middle part during the podcast. It'll be straight through start to finish, no interference.
So, Matt, I've got loads and loads of topics this week. Some really, really interesting stuff. Just going to explain why I'm on the whiskey. Been in hospital, as I've already said privately with you, with daughter today. She's been struggling with the breathing and stuff. Got some steroids, but I wanted to pose a question to you. I sort of came out of the hospital after being there like 8 hours thinking, is the NHS really what it is? And then I cast my mind back. I was in Florida once, I had a car accident. I was with my ex-missus at the time. She got the airbag ended up hitting her. We ended up going to hospital. It was like a 5-star hotel, right? They'd done all the scans. She'd had a bedroom like on her own. It was like a 5-star hotel. We got the bill the following morning to give to our insurance company. It was $22,000. So when you hear these people saying, "Oh, we should privatize the NHS, everyone should go private," be careful what you wish for, I think.
Or
you
could just go to Turkey, and for the price it probably cost you in petrol to get to the hospital, you could have come back with new teeth, new hair. You'd have had Ryan Searle hair.
Now you're talking. Is that available?
The physique of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
No, I think I'm holding out for Callum Ridsley's hair. What do you think? Do you think I'd suit that?
You got your championship got a chance.
Yeah.
By the way, I've got to say this though. What an inspirational story! I'm literally walked through the door from doing Pro Tour commentary to come straight on this podcast. I've been back minutes. I was saying hello to Andy while saying hello to the missus, like as we were sort of logging on. And Callum Ridds, I commentated on a couple of his games. I don't know if I told you, I commentated on the Pro Tour. But for somebody who about 6 months ago left the stage in tears, went on social media suggesting maybe he's not even going to play the game anymore, to the level of which he is playing now, recent World Championship quarterfinalist as well. Wow. Unreal.
Incredible. Great story. Incredible. Pleased for the lad. Still think he needs a haircut. But anyway, and could have been another story as well. I noticed Dom Taylor in the semi-finals yesterday. So that could have been a real talking point this week. But we've got enough talking points this week. Matt, let's kick off with you. Because I believe you've gone back to slim flights. You told me the other day.
No, I had a throw with slim flights.
You haven't gone back to them.
I had a throw with them, and my God, do they fly well.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of leading me into the Keen Barry thing where he's changed his setup completely. He's finally admitted that, those tiny little flights that he used, I think he used the same ones that Phil Taylor used right at the end. Those tiny little, I don't even know what they're called.
Yeah.
And he's sacked it all. And he's gone back to standard flights and the darts are landing up. And, he's seen the light for me because I saw no future in those tiny little flights on a long dart as well. I mean,
is he winning?
Well, I don't know. Is he? Not yet. Not yet. But yeah, it's a big change. It's a big old change, that. But talking of change, a certain world champion has gone to his gold darts. After we gave him stick for using his gold darts the back end of last year, he went to his gold darts last week for Premier League. Should have gone out first round to Rob Cross. Got through, wins the Premier League. So, of course, now everybody's going to be saying, there you go. He can throw anything, that boy. I still think his black ones are better for him. But he's gone back to his gold ones. And I think he'll go back to the black ones. I think at some point he will realise that's the right coating for him and that's what he's going to stick with. At the moment, he's on the crest of a wave. He can throw anything. It'd be interesting to see how he does. Now, look, disclaimer. We're getting a few comments about this, Matt. Why don't you record the podcast on Saturdays and then put it out on Sundays? But I've seen this a few times now. Look, guys, we wish we could. We wish we could. But what you've got to realise is this podcast is being recorded. Matt's then got to export it. Then it's got to be edited. Then it's got to have a front end and a back end put on. Then it's got to be uploaded to YouTube. Then it's got to be scheduled. You can't do all that in 24 hours. It's impossible. So we always record this midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'm sorry, guys, if we're not as up to date with the latest darts results as you are, but that's the reason why, Matt.
But essentially, we don't really want to sit here and discuss the darts results. You know the darts results.
No.
You've seen the darts results. You don't need me and Andy sit and talk about darts results. What you want to know is conversations. So hang on a minute.
Oh, blimey. Matt has come back from... Where have you been?
Rosmalen.
Is that Germany? Is it Holland? Where is it?
Holland.
Give me a clue. Holland. He's come back from Holland with Holland cold. You brought the bugs back with you, mate. You need a whiskey. That's what you need.
Well, what you want to know, like, we could sit and talk about the Pro Tour. We could go, oh, look, Chris Dobie won one, Ryan Searle won one. You know that. We could go, Dom Taylor played really well, averaged 103 for the majority of the tournament. You know that. I couldn't sit and reel this off because I watched every single dart this past week because I was on commentary for the Pro Tour. But what you don't know is some of the conversations that happen around there. And I'm going to give you one of those conversations today. I'm not going to give you the one I've already asked Andy about off camera because I don't think that's appropriate for the podcast.
No, we have children listening.
I'm going to flip a conversation that we had at the table, but I'm going to ask it in a different way. Okay. If you was going into a fight and you could channel any animal, what animal would you be?
I'm the animal.
You're the animal. What animal would you be? You're going to be an animal to go into a fight. What animal are you going to pick? See,
a land animal. Are we saying land animal?
Well, you could be a shark, but that's not going to work out too well.
I'm kind of thinking a great white shark would have a good chance against anything, but he'd have to
not
be
in a boxing ring, though, would he?
Well, first, I mean, lion obviously comes to mind, so I'm going to have to say lion. You could say what comes to your mind.
See, a lot of people go with that, like lions, tigers, like these big, ferocious, feared animals. But I think they're quite one-dimensional.
Oh, I know what you're going to do. Go on.
Where do you think I was going to go?
You're going to go something like, and I know you by now, Edgar, you're going to go something like scorpion or one of these tiny little creatures that if it bites you, you die instantly. A horrible death.
No, surprisingly. No? So,
surprisingly not.
No, I've got a really sensible answer. So when I was doing like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, wrestling, things like that, one of the most important factors is control of your body. Being able to manage your body weight, being able to on one hand or one foot or one leg or on a knee or when you're on your side or in a mount, being able to flip control your body weight. And there's an animal out there that is amazing at body weight control. Just with a single finger can carry its entire weight. And we're talking a monkey.
Monkey.
I'd be a monkey. Because if you could teach a monkey to fight, it would kick gas. Like that thing, like whatever the environment is, like, you know, you could be a tiger down the floor. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just hang around up here. Look, there, I'll drop down, boss you on the head, back up I go again. What are you going to do down there, eh? I can control my weight. Like you can't. You're just on your leg. You can't even jump.
So I've probably got this wrong because you know I get things wrong, but it's sticking in my mind. Which living thing is pound for pound the strongest?
It's an ant.
Yes, that's what's in my head. I'm waiting for somebody to get in the comments now going, no, it isn't. It's a yellow spotted toad. Or, yeah, it's an ant, isn't it? Can't they carry something like 20 times or 50 times their body weight? It's like what? How? Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, they are some amazing creatures. But going back to your question, I think it would be there'll be a snake or something that if it bites you, is right. If a snake, the right snake bites you, it's instant death. So that snake can take on anything or whatever it is. Anyway, good question. I like it. I like your dinner conversations. They're always welcome in the podcast. And also what was welcome in last week's podcast, Matt, was your rant. Because people in their hundreds have got in there and gone, I agree with you. Singing in an exhibition. I ain't going to see that. I ain't going to see Adrian Lewis sing Angels. I'm going to see him get on his knees and hit a bullseye, or throw a dart over his back, or put newspaper over the board. And that's what I'm going to see. I ain't going to see him sing Angels. So lots and lots of people. Matt's first rant, I would say. What are we, episode 28 now? I think that's your first real rant. And everyone's in agreement.
I don't waste them. Singing. Don't waste on me. Like, I'm not like you who has 3 rants a week and hope that someone agrees with it. Like, I'm not an angry man. Like, but if something bugs me, like, I'm all about the promotion. I'm always about like the deeper meaning. If everything you do has a reason and a purpose, and that is to achieve this philosophy of what you're trying to do. The problem is at the moment, all dart players, what they're doing is they're doing this. And they're swaying between things. They go, oh, look, social media's working. Let's all have a social media account. Oh, silly walk-ons are doing. Let me wear this hat. You know, it's like they'll bounce from thing to thing because they're all just thinking, right, how can I come across looking like a character so I can get on the Premier League? Well, actually, just be yourself and just turn the volume up a little bit. Do you know what? I've never seen any of these people in their own life act the way they do on stage. Now, I get it. In the fact that you need to have different versions. You have to have me, the player, me, the person. They have to be 2 different people. But they should still relate, because what happens is it becomes transparent. You can see through the people. You can look at them and go, he's being fake. The second it happens, he's being fake. And if I said to you now, name me the top 5 people who are acting fake on stage, or top 3, and we wrote them down right now, we'd probably come up with the same 3 people.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, so I was in agreement with you. Our viewers are in agreement with you. We've put that one to bed. Stop singing in your exhibitions. Stop putting your arms out on stage. Do something else. I've changed my walk-on, by the way. You know, I'm in a finals next week. My walk-on music I've changed to Opus, Live is Life. If you know that song, that's now my walk-on.
How's that
going? One of my favorite songs. La 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 la. Life is life.
Will you stop singing? This is a podcast, Andy.
Very good.
If
the viewers are wondering why I keep looking left, it's because my camera, I've changed the angle so that it's a better backdrop than my pillowcase. But my screen's over here. So I'm kind of looking at the camera, but I keep looking at Matt like that. So you're kind of going, why is Andy weirdly looking left? But yeah, you did get me there. That was good. But that's my walk on. So let me finish about me and get it out of the way, because you know I've got to get it out of the way. Third Super League game of the season, Oldham away on Sunday. Best Super League venue I've ever been to. I think we do a Rate My Hockey there sometime, right? 3 practice boards, match standard practice boards in a separate room with a bar in it, and then the main stage board for the games in a separate room. Absolutely brilliant setup. I averaged 84 and 142 against the counter player. How about that?
More importantly, I'm going to challenge you to a game.
Oh, Christ.
Okay, now we've only got 10 seconds. We've only got 10 seconds maximum. If you run out of time, it's gone. You have to name towns, places, or football teams that are related to food. I'll start first, Oldham. You got 10 seconds.
Fleetwood.
What food's that?
Fish. Fleetwood Docks. It's where all the fishes comes in.
Yeah, but what's Fleetwood got to do with food? Oldham. I don't think you get this game.
What do you think Fleetwood's nickname is? The cod heads.
What are you going to eat? The fleet or the wood? Like, no part of that's food.
No, you mean you said related to. You didn't say the name had to specifically be a food.
Yeah, but the place
was a good one.
Fleetwood, not anything to do with food. You're not going to go into the shop and go, "Oh, can I have 10 Fleetwoods, please?"
Well, there isn't a cheese town or a fish town, or like there probably isn't even
places
another one
that are related to food, like Shrewsbury. Sounds a bit like strawberry, and it's got berry in it, hasn't it?
Hang on. You can't have sounds like. No bloody way are you having sounds like.
Shrewsbury
sounds a little bit like strawberry.
And berry in it. Not berries.
Yeah. I'll have Bristol. Sounds a bit like beef. It's like about as close. You know what I mean? It's
Newcastle
nonsense.
You got Newcastle Brown Ale. A pint of Newquay.
Is that food?
Said related.
You come up with these. Yeah, you come up with these things. Oh, I've got one. Liverpool. Liver.
Yeah, there you go. Problem is, it's longer than 10 seconds. We've been talking about
it. So the game's finished. Yeah. Anyway, so right. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go.
Well.
What do you think my next topic's going to be about?
Birds flying.
Birds flying high. I'm singing again. Right. No, it's going to be about whistling. It's going to be about whistling. And in particular, Mr. Kirk Bevan, stop whistling. What a point in the match to say that. I know he's had some stick for it, and I like Kirk, but I've got to bring it up again. We spoke about it in the pod before, and it needs speaking about again. So let me ask you this question. You've gone to the Premier League, you've paid your 60 quid to get a table ticket, you're out with your mates for the night, and one of them, every time Littler's throwing or Humphreys, he's whistling. You going to do anything about it? Or are you just going to sit there all night?
I'd probably punch him in the face.
Yeah. And this is what I don't understand. There was clearly one guy whistling the whole time as soon as they're about to throw. Now, it's not a whistle like I'm doing. It's obviously one of these, a really loud one.
Yeah.
So who's with that guy who's not going, yeah, all right, mate, it was funny first time, but what you doing? You're just being a dick now. You're going to get us all thrown out. Like I don't get, that's the bit I don't get. I get that it's difficult for security to go, well, who is it? Who's doing it? Because if you could be doing it without using your hand, but if you're with him, surely you're going, mate, you're just being a dick. What are you doing? So I don't get it. But my point was, what a poor judgment of Kirk. Probably the best, if not one of the best referees we've got, to shout out, stop whistling, when Luke Littler's about to go for 60. Surely wait till the leg's over.
The problem you've got is If you do, you're wrong. If you don't, you're wrong. That's the issue. Now, for example, I can 100% vouch for this. So, from commentary perspective, somebody who works on commentary, you'll always get Dave, who's sat at home still in his mum's box room at the age of 35, and he'll be watching it along, and he'll be coming on, and he'll go, I think you're really biased, and you shouldn't be a commentator because you're biased, and you think person A is then. And it's like, okay, but in the same match, you'll get Dave's brother in the other room go, I think you're really biased to person B. And it's like, how can I be biased to both players?
Yeah.
How can I be favoriting him and favoriting him? It's like, you hear what you want to hear. So with that, I get that. I mean, Kurt Bevins has come under a lot of flack recently as well, certainly on social media. People saying he doesn't do much and he ignores the whistling and this. So it's quite hard to know what, like, you're in a position where, I mean, that's essentially
right.
where
so put your Sky hat on. Put your Sky hat on now. They're a big company. They've got a lot of security. What do you do about ignore Kurt? It's kind of irrelevant. What do you do about this now? You've got any amount of money you want, you've got any amount of security you want. What do you do? Do you fix it? And tell me how? Do you do nothing about it and let people do what they want? You tell me what you would do, Matt.
Let me give you some understanding as well into this then. So first of all, we're talking about the question there, Sky. Sky are the broadcaster.
Sorry,
Sky,
yes. The PDC.
Sky want as much controversy as possible.
Yeah.
But Sky would want them to have a full-on fist fight on stage because that will go boom, numbers. Like, Sky want Eric Cantona in the front row. Like, well, maybe not that to that degree, but like they want something big and dramatic. So they want the whole crowd giving it large. They don't want everyone sat there going, "Oh, good 100, mate, well done." You know, they want the big hurrah. The PDC are the promoter, so they're the promotionally organizer body. They want to sell tickets. So if this guy's going to pay 60 quid and he comes and he wants to cheer and chant and have a pint, but he's going to, and we're going to get enough of them to fill up the O2 Arena, brilliant. I would rather that than have to sell tickets for £10 a session in a little small bingo hall. So PDC aren't too bothered. So who should be bothered? Is it the PDPA? The PDPA are responsible for the welfare of the players. So is it their responsibility? Because they have a duty of care. PDC don't really have a duty of care as such. Their duty is to promote the event. Sky's is to broadcast it. The PDPA is the duty for the players. So if it's affecting the players, it's their responsibility. Or is it third-party contractors, such as the official body, who are the body that hire the officials in, you know, like your referees? Your
so that's what I was going to say. Who's employing the security, Matt?
Or is it the security? They're another organization. So this is the thing. When it comes together, people go, it's the PDC. But actually, we've got about 7 companies here working on this. And I reckon it's the old Spider-Man scenario where they're all stood there pointing at each other, going, this is your job, mate. No, this is your job. And realistically, I don't know what the overall resolution is, because everyone benefits in the way it is, other than the players. So on that responsibility, it's the PDPA.
Okay. And you're right. And I think it's a sensitive subject, because I've sort of said in the past, I would hate it. I would hate it if you went into that arena and it was deathly quiet. I can't think of anything worse, to be perfectly honest. You know, back to the old, you know what days, everybody was deathly quiet. No atmosphere. That'd be a nightmare for Sky. The players would hate it. So that's one end of the spectrum. And the other end is somebody's going to whistle every time you throw. Now, the first time I sort of heard somebody kick off about this, I was kind of like, yeah, what are you going on about, mate? Like, it's just crowd noise. But now, whether it's the microphones and whether it's Sky or whoever doing it on purpose, it did sound very loud, almost like it was somebody on the front row, literally waiting until you were about to throw and then going like that. I can imagine. I was always one that said I don't get put off by noise. I could imagine once you've heard it once, you can't stop hearing it. Then you can't stop.
That's the rule of thumb. Yeah, once you've heard it, you won't stop.
So,
But if you're going to say right now, so we've got this budget in. So right, let's say we need another 100 members of security, and your first point of call was Sky. If I'm the head of Sky, the broadcaster, if I'm the head of production, I'm going to go, why am I going to pay £150 a member of staff times 100 people to police this issue, which may not even solve the problem? Why am I'm already paying you for the rights to come and broadcast it. It's your responsibility to PDC. PDC is like, it's our responsibility to fill the arena and put on the event, and we've done that. We've got our obligation is more to the media. They're fulfilling that obligation in terms of sponsorships and in terms of providing the broadcast. So they're responsible. So this is the problem. Like, whose responsibility is it? And that is why I don't think it'll ever get resolved. And that's your real answer. Like, and there'll be a lot of people, because people don't understand the system. They don't. Like, you can sit and watch it at home as much as you want, but you only get the inner workings by being in the inner workings, and you know who's where and who the head of what is and what their positions are and what they can and cannot do.
And the problem is, of course, when everybody wants Kirk to do something, when, of course, he does say that, everybody whistles then. Everybody whistles. It's like a free-for-all then. You know, it's almost like the pantomime boos when you miss a 9-dar and all that sort of stuff, which the first time that ever happened, players were like, ooh, why are they booing me? Now it's kind of like, yeah, all right, you've hit 2 180s and you've missed, you're going to get booed. It's fun. It's not, they're not really booing you. It's just, but yeah, so he can't win. If he does nothing, everybody gets on his back for doing nothing. And if he says something, it's going to get worse. So he's in a no-win situation there whatsoever. But really interesting take from you there on, like, you're exactly right. Whose job is it to sort it out? You know, and I think that's very poignant to our listeners who might have not realized that, might have just thought, well, the PDC should just sort it out. So,
well, the one with this, I put on my social media on Twitter, X, about the PDC should have a physio on site. And everyone's like, yeah, the PDC, with all the money they've got, they should be. And I'm like, but just remember, it isn't the PDC's job to get the physio on site. Their job is to put the event on. The job of getting a physio on site for the players is the PDPA. And the amount of people go, what's the PDPA? And I'm like, it's 2 different organizations. One's responsible, one's not. But everyone just sees peace. It's the same as like when people discuss darts and they go, but why don't the ADC work with the PC and the PC work with the WDF and have this? And it's like, that's because you're looking at the linear progression of sport. You're not looking at individual organizations. And I think because people watch the PDC darts, they probably don't even realize there's a PDC Europe, and they're 2 different entities. You know, like there's a lot that I think with the inner workings of it, a lot of people probably don't get, and they just umbrella it all as PDC and Sky.
Brilliant. Well,
so I hope that gives you a bit of insight.
Yeah, really good insight. That really good insight from the floor. Got to talk about some of our videos, Matt. Folded v molded. Now, we thought this would split people. If you haven't seen this, by the way, on the main channel, Matt and I have done a video comparing folded flights versus molded flights. Lots of people have watched it, and hundreds of people have commented on it. And it's so split, Matt. It's unbelievable. I mean, I know we were split. You are folded and I'm molded. But literally, it's 1 comment for folded, it's 1 comment for molded, and on it goes, on it goes, on it goes, with nobody being able to give a real reason as to, you know, why one is better than the other, pretty much as we couldn't.
258 comments.
Incredible. Yeah.
But
that's
remember when we were discussing potentially making this video, and I said to you, I have tried to come up with a definitive answer, and I can't. Because every time I get close and I pick out a positive, I can get it off with negative. And because I find a negative, I look to the other side to find a positive. And I also, so it's like for every positive you find a negative in either. And I think this is just one of those things that there is no right answer.
Yeah.
There is no. Like, there's a right answer potentially for you and your throw or your personal taste, but What you can't do is say, I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah, and there's so much ambiguity. There's so many people gone, well, I've always used it folded. Why would I change? Well, that doesn't make sense. And then there's other people going, oh, well, I tried molded once and my darts didn't land right. Well, we've already said there's about 20 different systems. So that doesn't. And then other people have said, oh, the problem with molded is it's all one piece. You can't take it apart. Well, that's not true because Elstein's. So there was loads of comments there where it made me think, do you know what? This is a much more complex debate than maybe even you and I have made it. And I thought we'd covered a lot of ground. It's a huge topic of conversation, hence 250 comments. And by the way, these comments aren't I choose folded, I choose molded. These are paragraphs, Matt. These are people going full on their reasons why. So I'm really, really happy we made that video. It's still getting views now. And yeah, it's a real topic of conversation that doesn't have a right or wrong answer.
Yeah,
It really is.
And I don't think you can do an experiment on it that doesn't take at least 20, 30 hours.
Yeah. I was thinking an hour of footage. Yeah,
but it's an hour of footage, probably 5 days.
Edited. Yeah.
It's an hour of footage, 5 days, but then you've got to review that 10 hours worth of footage to see the deflection. Then you've got to show 10 hours of footage in about a 5-minute video, so you've got to narrow it all down.
It's not even. It's not even. It's more like 20 days. If we started, let's say I took you in the studio tomorrow, right, Matt? We're going to find the right, molded system for you. You're a very, very good player. There has to be one for you, right? Let's start with Cosmo. They do 9 different lengths of stem. They do 25 different stems, right? So you're up to 2, right? They do 15 different shape flights. They do 2 thicknesses in each of those flights. Like, start multiplying them, and we're into 2 weeks, and we've done 1 system. Brilliant. Right, let's move on to the next one. It's like it's you could experiment for the rest of your life trying to find the right molded system. And I know that kind of leads into your part more than it does mine. I've concentrated, when I do my fittings, I've concentrated on 5 molded systems that I know all offer me something different. Light, heavy, bigger, smaller, etc. They all offer something different. But the actual combinations are just mind-blowing. So I don't think it'll ever be answered. I think even in 10 years, and if we think in another 10 years, molded, there'll be more people using them. Just like there are, I guess, electric cars. There's more people using them now than what there were when they came out. But you still won't be able to answer the question. There'll still be players in the top 10 in the world using folded flights. There will be. So, but I'm really glad we did it. That was kind of my point, to get that much people interested in talking about it. Some people going, I'm absolutely with Andy. Since I've changed it from folded, I've never looked back. And then people going, I changed to molded and I hate them. And I couldn't wait to get back in your camp. And it's like, they're so passionate about it, man. So passionate.
You know what we have done, though? We have now established terminology. We now have molded or folded. We've done it.
We never rehearse anything, Matt. And you've just absolutely brought me on to the first comment here. So perfectly, you're not going to believe it. So you said about singing. I'm going to have to sing again. I'm really sorry, viewers, listeners. Andy's going to have to sing again. Rohan Duffin's comment from the folded v molded is, you've got to know when to folded, know when to molded, know there's no Robin Hoods if they're all in one. Now, when I read that first, I thought, that reminds me of something. So now I'm going to sing it, because you've got to know when to folded, know when to molded, know there's no Robin Hoods if they're all in one. You don't know that song, do you?
I do, but
It's the gambler, Kenny Rogers. And the way he's written it is absolutely to the tune. And I thought, that's brilliant. That's my comment of the week for being clever enough to use what we've used and turn it into a song. You don't look as impressed as I am.
I'm impressed in something and you don't even realise what it is.
Okay.
I think we've stumbled on a new feature. Comment of the week.
Yes. Yes. I think you're right. That is my comment of the week. Shall I send him a prize? Shall I send him something?
Send him some
right. Rohan Duffin, email me, youtube@missiondarts.com. I'm going to send you something. Comment of the week. Absolutely brilliant. Love that. Now, this is where it's controversial. That comment is on the main channel. It's not on the podcast channel. Yeah. But I read all the comments but I read every comment. It takes me most of the week to be perfect. We're getting that many, Matt. And I know you read them as well. So I'm going to pick a comment of the week, and it could be from the main channel, it could be from the pod channel, and we'll send you something. Rohan, if that's your actual name, you're getting something this week. I'm sure you're a regular. You're probably in the club. You've watched all 28 episodes. You'll be listening to this one. Email me, youtube@missiondarts.com, and I'm going to send you something. Do you want another comment, Max? I've got 2 more crackers for you this week. I know you love the comment.
Comment of the week.
Yeah. So that's the gold, and then I've got silver and bronze. Yeah. So Sammy E 1993. I always love it when you see it you think, well, I know how old you are because you put your date of birth pretty much when somebody puts a year after their name.
Or it might just be a special year to them, like 1993. They might have enjoyed WrestleMania that year or something.
Maybe you're just jealous because he's younger than you. Anyway,
I'm going WrestleMania though this year.
Good lad. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So he's loving the Foldy v Molded video. He's absolutely loving it. It's class. Love it. Can you do a video? And so this is a question to you. Can we do a video on how they land in the board with some pros and cons? Is that possible? Or is it, like we just said, a 3-month job? And my thought was,
it'd be very similar to to normal folded, won't it?
I don't think so, because here's my thought. If we do it with you, if we put you in a slim flight with your dart, which we know you can throw and we know you can stack it, what about if we use a slim flight from Mission Molded, a slim flight from Cosmo Molded, except, you know what I mean? We use all the slim flights in Molded and see if they react differently. Does that work or not?
Just texture it.
Oh, is it rude?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I think that's your. I can picture the thumbnail already.
But you've said.
Well, it's a combo, isn't it? It's all in
combo. One. Yeah. Okay, right. We're going to do that. So, Sammy.
Concept.
Yes, Sammy, we are going to do that. Brilliant comment. Thank you very much. You nearly got comment of the week there. Very nearly. And then we've got one that I'm not going to go on a full-on rant, but I've had a lot of this in coaching recently. And I've actually had quite a bit of it in precision. And this is Carl Smythe 9838. It is quite a long, I'm not going to read it all. It's quite a long. But he's going along the facts of, with the Foldy v Molded, he's gone, I can't even decide which are right for me, my 24-gram darts or my 23-gram darts. Now, I've had this in precision fittings. I've had it in coaching recently where people have gone in and gone, just letting you know, I can't use anything heavier than 23. And I'm like, well, why? Have you used every 24, 25, 26 gram dart that there is? No, I've tried 24. It's too heavy. I can only use 23. And I've sort of found myself going, do you know what? I reckon if you gave me, Matt, my darts in a 24 and a 23, I wouldn't know the difference. I honestly believe, as an ex-pro player, if they looked exactly the same color, same fly, everything, I would not be able to tell the difference in 1 gram. So how on earth amateur players have decided that a 24 is too heavy and a 23 is just right, I'm not quite sure. But my point is, be a little bit more open-minded, people. You know,
my point
really,
is, why would you pay £250 for a service and then tell the service provider how to do it?
yeah. My favourite one, and I'm not going to mention
I'm a
names.
bricklayer. I'm not going to get him to come around the house and tell him how to lay the bricks.
No. My favourite one ever was a guy, I'm not going to name names. This is about 6 months ago. That walked through the door and went, "Oh, hi, mate. Nice to meet you. My name's..." I'm just telling you, I can only use the grippiest darts that you've got. If it's not grippy, do not even give it me to throw, because I've tried everything there is and I can only use grippy darts. I'm like, all right, nice to meet you. Yeah, okay, shall we get started? An hour later, he's walking out the door with a level 2 grip. Like, with level 10 being the grippiest, he's going out the door with a level 2, hitting 180s like there's no tomorrow. Honest to God. And I was like, do you remember what you said when you walked through? He's like, "I'm so sorry, mate. I'm so sorry. I should have trusted the system. I'm so sorry." And I was like, but how many people are there like that out there that have decided in their own mind, this is the only thing I can throw with? You know, it's very rare it happens at a precision. Most people are open-minded, like you say. Otherwise, why are you paying 250 quid?
I don't get it. I don't get it. So you're going to... Right,
yeah.
let me just try and compute it. It might be because I'm tired and I've barely had any sleep because I've been commentating on the Pro Tour. And I've just flown back in, literally. And my eyes are gone. But yeah, it might be because I'm tired. But the concept of this does not make sense to me. You're going to go to a fitting service because you don't think you've got the right set of darts for you. Otherwise, why would you pay for a fitting service? So you've gone to a fitting service to find the right set of darts for you, but you've gone into that fitting service suggesting to the fitter that you've got the right set of darts for you because you don't want to tinker with weights or grips. Why the hell are you there? Like, why? I've just spent 4 hours, paid 250 quid to tell him I know what I'm doing. I've already got my right set. That'll show him, won't it? Yeah, thanks.
Something we've never delved into. We get onto our story rants, and I want to come back to the wrestling, by the way, in a minute. So please hold that thought about WrestleMania. I'm very interested to find out about that. But just to give you, I've been doing precision fittings now for 2.5 years, and they've never been busier. We're sold out, I think, until about April at the moment. You can't get I think it's even end of April. So they're great, and people get so much out of them. I've got so many fantastic emails about them of people that have gone on to other things that have happened in a precision fitting. A guy who had played darts for 20 years and had never hit a 180, hit his first 180 in a precision fitting. Had to leave the darts in the board for about 10 minutes while he phoned his wife, took a photo, sent a picture to all his mates. Phenomenal. I mean, what a buzz. Incredible. The guy that came to a precision fitting that had never owned a set of darts. He'd only ever gone down the pub once a week and borrowed his mates and gone, whoever's in tonight, I'll just use theirs. He never owned a set. These are all true, by the way. These are true stories. The guy that came through the door that had bought 250 sets of darts, and he'd kept them all. Hadn't sold any. He bought 250 sets of darts, not because he was a collector, because he was searching for the right dart. 250 sets. We worked out it was well over 10 grand he'd spent on darts. And he could have just saved himself. Yeah, it's just incredible. It's incredible. It really is. But it's a great service, and I'm not saying that because I do it. We're busy enough, but it is a great service. And there are some videos about it now, which is great. Check out the one with the lad on the stage at Lakeside. Matt, over to you. Talk to me about wrestling. Where you going? What you doing?
WrestleMania again.
So tell me as a non-wrestle person, what is that? What's that the equivalent to me going in the world of darts or in the world of golf? What is it?
Oh, World Championship final.
Oh,
the
right.
big,
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
everything builds to WrestleMania. I went last year,
okay.
first time, and when I was there, like I went last year, my brother was 40, and it was WrestleMania 40, so we went to WrestleMania in Philadelphia. And
Wow.
while I was
so
there,
it's not local then. It's like
I was in
build
Las
it up
Vegas.
to me.
Yeah, it's Las Vegas.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when I went last year, I was going around and I was like, do you know when you do something and you think, like, I just wanted, I was there and I was thinking, I wish I was experiencing this with my son, because I think it would give us a moment that even when I'm not here, he'll remember.
It's an everlasting bond, isn't it? Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he likes wrestling. He's not delirious with it, but he likes going and he likes wrestling. And he watches it from time to time. He's not like hooked on it, but going to WrestleMania is a different level. And I just thought, like, it's one of those things that he'll probably tell his children about. I remember going to America, went to Las Vegas with my dad. We went to WrestleMania, and we're doing the whole shebang. We're going Hall of Fame, SmackDown, WrestleMania both nights, Monday Night Raw. We're going to the Titanic Museum that's over in Vegas. We're going to WWE World. I'm getting 2 spare suitcases to bring back merchandise because I'm a big collector, as you know.
You are, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going for the full shebang. We're only going like 5 days because I'm very heavily booked. So I can't.
Yeah, so give me an idea. You don't need to go into the cost of everything, but how much would a WrestleMania, the main event, shall we call it? What's the ticket for that go for?
It depends where you want to sit, like including everything, right? This is including our costs while we're out there, all our tickets to all the shows and events, the planes, the hotel, memorabilia and merchandise, which I'm going to be purchasing, and obviously you're going to Vegas, you're going to go crazy. You're gonna.
I've got a number in mind.
Okay, I'll write it down.
Let me see.
We'll see if you're close to what it is. Okay.
I would have thought because I've been to Vegas twice. I would have thought flights, you and your son, accommodation, food and drink, tickets for all those events that are going to be mega sought after. 5 days, merchandise. My figure is, I'll do it rate my hockey style. My figure is 10K.
Yeah, 10 grand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it'll be about 10 grand. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that was better than what we do at Rate My Hockey, man. I normally go 10 and you're like 3.
No, I mean, we've done some things on budget, like hotel's quite good. We've got 2 double beds, swimming pool, breakfast every day. That'll save a fortune eating breakfast in the hotel.
Are you on the strip or not?
Just off. Because the thing is, I didn't want to be where it was, because the arena's like 2 miles down. And a lot of the events are down there, so I wanted to sort of between a few things. It'll be great. It'll be a once in a lifetime sort of opportunity for us both.
Have you been before?
No.
Oh. So here's the thing, right? I reckon you're going to have the best. And I hate to say the best holiday of your lifetime because you're not going with your missus and not all your kids are there. So it feels a bit mean, but
pause on that one. I've spoken on this podcast before about sacrifices of which I've made.
Yeah.
I'm 38 and going to be 39 this year. In my life, I've been on 3 holidays.
Wow.
3 holidays. One of them was WrestleMania last year. Because all my holidays, all my finances, I've dedicated it all to the sport of darts. Yeah. Everything's always gone to that. Now, yes, I've been to a lot of countries. I've traveled the world. But it's different when you're traveling the world for sport and work. It's different. It's not like you're going on holiday. You're not just going away for 5-6 days to do what you want, like I'm going to do in Vegas. I'm going to have all my videos pre-uploaded. I'm going to be doing bugger all other than enjoying myself for 5 straight days. And I mean, if you account that, I'd probably say 2 holidays in my life. If you say I'm not really working
Matt,
while I'm
I'm sorry you said you're not working. We're definitely doing the podcast while you're in Vegas. You have got to have the Vegas skyline in the background. You got your hotel room and the Vegas strips there in the background. That's going to be way better than my Mallorca effort, isn't it? In an apartment in Mallorca. That's going to be unbelievable, mate.
So
but
yeah,
So my point was going to be this. I've been to Vegas twice, right? And I'm a bit of a posh get sometimes. I like
sometimes.
Nice things. And, yeah, all right, all the time. I spend way too much money on stuff I never should. And I happened to go there once with somebody very similar to me. Now, I think you will enjoy Vegas for very different reasons to what I enjoyed it for. Now, and I'm not going to try and sound posh here because I'm really not in a lot of ways. And I certainly don't have a lot of money. But just to be able to go in a hotel, walk past a store, and I'm going to give you an example, and you're going to go, oh, for God's sake. But I walked past the Louis Vuitton store. Now, I wouldn't ever go in there. It's handbags and all that sort of crap. But so I've walked past this store, carried on walking. And then there's a Louis Vuitton store. And I'm like, oh, shit, we've what have we done here, mate? We've walked right. He's gone, no, we've definitely not been here before. Maybe there's 2. Oh, right, okay. Carried on walking. There's a Louis Vuitton store. And I'm like, this is like, there's no way. One hotel had 3 separate Louis Vuitton stores. Now, bearing in mind, in the UK, I think there's like 2 in London, 1 in Manchester, 1 in Glasgow. In the whole of the country, in Vegas, there's 3 in one hotel. It's opulence gone mental. So me and my mate, we decided, again, I did it for a special birthday. I did it for my 40th birthday. We were going to go mad. So we like poker, right? So we both took $5,000 spending money. We were the poorest people there. Honest to God, we walked into these hotels where people were betting £10,000 on the turn of a card. Every turn of a card, another 10,000, another 10,000. I've never felt so poor with £5,000 in my pocket in my life. But if you're a bargain hunter and you love a deal. It's full of deals as well. So if you want to go and have all you can eat for $10, and it'll be amazing, you can do it. If you want to go and find a store where everything's $5, there's a million of them. Mm. So it's not just, it's almost like you've got all this top end nonsense, these people that are multi-millionaires, but you've also got Bargain City. And I think you're going to absolutely love it. You love your food, Matt. Is it Tommy that you're going with? Sorry, I didn't need to say his name, but your lad, Tommy, who you're going with. You are both going to absolutely lose it in some of the buffets. I mean, it's just like, and you're going to come back like a stone heavier. It's going to be Fat Edgar when you get back, because you are going to get stuck into the all-you-can-eat buffets.
I'm going to go mad. And the other thing is, I am a massive fan of Mountain Dew. Like, not the rubbish English stuff we get, proper Mountain Dew. When I was in Philadelphia, I had a proper Mountain Dew drinking problem. I had 2 hands and 1 mouth. Really? I couldn't get it in quick enough.
I can't say I know what it tastes of, Matt. Is it?
My! If I remember, I'll bring you a can back. I'll bring you a can back if I remember.
Yeah, do you know what? It might be. So my daughter loves, apparently abroad, you can't get it in England, Fanta watermelon.
Oh, yeah.
Now, she's had it when she's been in Spain. Yeah. And she's like, it's the best drink ever. It's like the best drink ever. I've searched everywhere in the UK. I can't find it.
The berry one's nice as well. It's in a blue can.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
But Mountain Dew. So is Mountain Dew still or sparkling?
Sparkling.
Oh, okay. And is it it's some fruit-based It's not an energy drink. No, it's a.
No. I mean, you'll probably turn the same colour as the Incredible Hulk after having a can of it. There's nothing good in it. There's nothing. There's nothing good in it.
It doesn't have a no artificial colourings on it. Then
Yeah. Please don't drink 2. Caution. Like this week. Beware. It's got health hazards all over. You know what they do with smoking when they put all like the health hazards on. They should do that with a can of Mountain Dew. There's nothing positive about a can of Mountain Dew. But I will have it with breakfast. I will have it with lunch. I'd have it over my cornflakes if I can.
Can I ask when is this trip, Matt?
April. That's why I can't do the full 4 days.
April. Guys, get in the comments. Do we want to see 1 or 2 pictures of Matt on the podcast in Vegas? Because I'm sure I do, and I'm sure you do as well. I want to see 1 or 2 pictures pop up on the podcast, the one after you get back, Matt, because I think you're going to have the best time ever. I'd be surprised if you're just going to, it's going to be so memorable for you and the boy. It really is. I hope you have the best time, and
do you know
you will be surprised.
And he's 16, nearly 17. And as far as holiday, I mean, we've been away. Like we've been to Blackpool. You know, you go to like things. Like, you know, we've done the women to Skegness. You know, we've done those things, but not like for more than like 2 days. Like we've got a weekend. Like we'll just go Skegness for the weekend, sort of thing. Like never just gone somewhere. And then there's always something to do. I've always either had to practice in the evening, or I've always had to do something. I have literally cleared my schedule that time so we can just have it to enjoy Las Vegas. It's gonna be great.
You know what? Your suitcases are going to be so full coming back. You are going to, I know what you're like. You stopped at a charity shop in the middle of nowhere, went to a cash point to buy a wrestling figure, right? You're going to WrestleMania. You are just, it's going to be mental.
It hurt me last year. It's expensive. But
you work hard.
On the way out, I get normal, like economy, whatever it is on the way. And on the way back, I get premium. Because on the way back, I'm a bit more. So on the way back, you're tired, aren't you? You want a bit more premium. You want a bit more room, you know, because you're tired. On the way over there, you're excited. You don't give a damn. Like, woohoo, you know. I could stand up the whole way. I don't care. Yeah. Like, if you said, right, go stand on those hot coals the whole way over, not a problem. I'd be on it. Like, but on the way back, it's like I could do with a bed actually now. I'm a bit.
There was talk of that. Ryanair were going to do stand-up flights, weren't they?
Yeah. They weren't allowed to do it. There's talk about this today, actually. But when you book premium, you get extra suitcase. So I'll have a suitcase plus a spare. Tommy's taking a suitcase and he'll have a spare, but we're going to take enough clothes so we can put it into one suitcase, and then we've got 3 suitcases if we want to bring bits back and a backpack.
It's a darts podcast. Are you taking your darts?
No, but I am meeting. So there is another darts YouTuber going to WrestleMania, and he's emailed me and said, "I've just seen you on WrestleMania. I'm doing a video in Las Vegas where I'm going to go round and play darts and look at these different things in there. Do you want to do it with me?" And I went, "Probably will, actually, yeah." So even though I said I'm not doing anything work related, I'm still going to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt on another channel. What do we think about that? But no, in all seriousness, I was thinking you might take your darts and hustle a little bit while you're there. I know what you're like. Yeah, I can play a little bit. Yeah, we'll play for $100. Of course we will. We'll play for that wrestling figure over there. Bit of hustling. No, well, that sounds really exciting, mate. It really does. Talking of which, somebody...
I've got a story here. I've got a story. I'm not going to waste this one.
Go, yeah.
Right. So I've probably told the story a million times that people know about. Things like there's a story 2011 where we had to move out the house, but we were allowed to move in without a deposit. So we had to move out because the landlord wanted to sell it, and we didn't have the money for a deposit for a new property. So we didn't have any money. Like, we was homeless for a bit. We was living around the missus' sister's house at the time with 4 kids. Because we could pay the rent, but we didn't have the savings to get a deposit.
Pay the deposit.
And then I ended up getting a deposit from a darts tournament. Ironically, they paid me in a check. They paid me in a check. I had to find someone who they could pay it to them, so they'd give me the cash, and then they paid the check to them, so I could put the deposit on this house. But anyway, it was sort of coming around to Christmas, and we didn't really have a lot of the time. And there was always trying to get me to go down this local pub. They're like, "Guys, Matt, there's some guys down here. They're willing to play for money all the time. You should come down and play them," sort of thing. And I'm like, "Right, okay, I'll come give them a game." And I've gone down. I realised it was rubbish. I'm like, "Oh, this is happy takings here, lovely days." So I've gone in there, and I've won £2 match, won the game. And he's like, "Oh," he goes, how are you dealing with pressure?" And I'm like, "Well, I just reached the 4th round of the UK Open, actually." It's all right, I'm like, yeah, I get a bit nervous when playing all this. He goes, "Right, let's play for a £5 then." It's like, lovely, job done. And you don't wallop them, you just beat them enough. And he's gone, "Right, you put the £7 up that you've just won." He goes, "And I'll put 20. And I'm thinking, I've got to put £7 in. He's going to put 20 in. Yeah, lovely days, happy days. I'm up to £27 now. And he just kept going. They just kept going. It was just basically like drunk people with too much money and playing complete, let's measure our male body parts, see who's got the biggest brass. And I just rinsed it. I was like, oh, and then I was like, I'm never going there ever again. So
he didn't end up renting the house. He bought one. Got a mortgage.
£130 it was. A lot of it was in pound coins because they won on the fruit machine, you see. So they've paid me in pound coins a lot of the time. But I came out, and then a lot of it was like in the ashtray. And I got back, and I said to Miss, "Can you come out with like a food bag or something?" And she came out as like the ashtray bit was just full of pound coins and things. Like, she's like, "What on earth have you been up to?" I'm like, "Just playing darts,
Oh, brilliant. That's a brilliant story. No, that's great. I never got involved in playing darts. I wasn't around playing darts for long enough, really, to have any of them kind of gambling stories. My gambling days were playing snooker back in the day. But yeah, that's an interesting one. Whether I would get nervous or not, I don't think I would. As long as you're playing for something you can afford to lose, I don't think it really affects you, does it? You're just playing. You're just playing. Yeah. But I'm scared to say it, Matt. I'm scaring myself. After Sunday, averaging 84 and winning, I'm enjoying playing again.
Oh, and
so I've gone on Flash Score today, and I've seen tomorrow is the start of the seniors, and I'm like, I could have entered the qualifiers. And I'm like, get a grip of yourself. You gave this game up 10 years ago. What are you, 53? What are you even thinking about? What are you doing? But you get you average, you hit a good average. You beat a county player, and you think, well, I'm 5th on the rankings. I would be, if I wanted to play county, I'd be in county now. As it is, I don't want to because I've got enough commitments. And I'm thinking, Christ, I can still play a little bit. Should I play a bit more? And then I get a grip of myself, and I'm like, don't be ridiculous. So
hang on a minute.
But I think
qualifying average 91 and says, "Andy, I think I can still do some." I got about 2 minutes full of absolute abuse, trying to bring me back down to earth.
Yeah, abuse. So I think there's gonna have to be an Andy v match at some point. There's gonna have to be one, because otherwise I'm always gonna think, what if? Maybe it's not 501. Maybe it's something a bit more interesting than that. But I'm reaching out to the viewers. Is that something you want to see? And if so, is it something different than just 501? Would you watch best of 7 501? Is it because you can go on YouTube and you can find Matt playing? He's a million times. He's all over YouTube. You won't find me. But there's something inside me now that a little bit of a fire has been lit. I'm enjoying it. And if I'm ever going to play it, it feels like now might be the time. While you're not playing so much and I'm doing Super League, get in the comments and let us know whether that's something that you want to see. And don't forget, comment of the week. So get in those comments.
I know we probably haven't gone through all our topics, Andy, but we're an hour and 5 minutes in, and this is like already our longest podcast. We could do a part 2 this week, but
yeah,
I think we're out of time.
I think we are out of time. We like to keep it around the hour, don't we? I know some people get carried away. I was listening to a podcast the other day. It was 2.5 hours. I was like, Jesus, I need like 3 days to listen to that.
Well,
we've got our Sunday night.
These really long raps.
Yeah, we've got our Sunday night stalwarts that watch it, and we've got our Monday mornings. We noticed from the pods you're either watching Sunday night or Monday morning, and some of you watch the rest of the week. So fair play. We love you all, no matter when you watch the podcast. We appreciate you all. We've got to get to that 1,000 subscribers. We've got to get to that, guys. Thank you so much. What have I amused you with now?
Some of you watch it Sunday. Some a Monday morning, the rest of the week. It's like, so everybody then, really. You just gave everybody it's like doing it for crossroads again. It could be left or right.
Or straight on.
It's one
and on that note, I'm done. I'll see you next week.
Remember, no ads. You just hit that subscribe button. You've done your job.